day. Everyone kept telling Moo, "You're amazing." But the more Moo heard it, the more uncomfortable he felt. He'd smile, nod, then wonder, what if they find out I'm not that great after all? Even when he did well, Moo thought it was luck, not skill. He didn't feel like he belonged with others who shined so easily. And deep down, Moo feared he was just pretending. At night, Moo would curl up under his blanket, headphones on. But even music couldn't drown out the voice inside. "You don't deserve this. You're fooling them all." He hated that voice. Yet, a small part of him believed it. So Moo kept quiet about his worries, hoping no one would notice he didn't feel like he fit in. One morning, Moo stared into the mirror. His reflection smiled, but it felt fake. "Who is that?" he whispered. The Moo others saw confident, talented, joyful. Wasn't the Moo he felt like inside. He touched the glass, half expecting it to crack. That moment, he realized he wasn't afraid of failing. He was afraid of being found out. Then came a day when Moo heard someone else say, "I feel like a fraud sometimes." Moo's ears perked up. Wait, they felt it too? That small moment cracked something open inside. Maybe he wasn't broken. Maybe this feeling had a name, imposter syndrome. And maybe, just maybe, he wasn't alone. That night, Moo didn't hide under the blanket. He sat by the window, moonlight touching his face. "What if I'm not pretending?" he whispered. "What if I'm enough just as I am?" The thought didn't fix everything, but it felt lighter. And for the first time, Moo let the music in, not to escape, but to celebrate. The next day, Moo told his friend, "Sometimes, I don't feel good enough." His voice trembled, but he said it anyway. And his friend, she didn't laugh. She just said, "Me too." That moment felt like a soft hug to Moo's heart. He didn't need to wear a mask around her. And for the first time, he felt understood. Moo started writing his thoughts in a little journal. Some days, he wrote doubts. Other days, tiny wins. "I helped my friend today. I finished my song." Each page reminded him, feelings change, but they don't define him. The journal didn't erase the voice of doubt, but it made Moo's own voice a little louder. During music class, Moo noticed others struggling too. One friend forgot her lyrics. Another froze mid-performance. Moo didn't feel superior, just connected. Everyone had their own insecurities. The difference? Some hid it better. Suddenly, Moo didn't feel like the odd one out. He was part of something real, a herd of hearts doing their best. Moo remembered the first time he sang in front of others. His hooves were shaking, voice soft like a whisper. But afterward, a teacher said, "That was brave, Moo. Not perfect, not flawless, brave." It was the first time Moo felt seen for trying, not just succeeding. That one word stayed with him longer than any applause ever could. Bit by bit, Moo made a song from his feelings. Doubt became chords. Hope became lyrics. He didn't rush it, he just let it flow. And when the melody was done, it didn't sound perfect, but it sounded like Moo. And for the first time, that was more than enough. One morning, Moo whispered, "I think I have imposter syndrome." The words felt strange, but also freeing. Naming the feeling didn't erase it, but it made it less scary, less like a monster in the dark. Moo was starting to understand. He wasn't broken. He was just human in his own little way. But some days, the voice came back. You're just lucky, it hissed. Moo would sink a little, wondering if he was back to square one. But now, he recognized the pattern. He could pause, breathe, and say, maybe that's just fear talking. And every time he did, that voice grew a little quieter. Moo wrote a letter. To the Moo who feels like a fraud, you are trying, and that counts. He tucked it inside his journal. For the days when belief ran dry. It wasn't perfect writing, but it came from the heart. And Moo knew, even if no one else ever saw it, that letter mattered. One day, Moo helped a younger friend who was nervous to perform. He said, I used to feel like I didn't belong too. The little one blinked. Really? Moo nodded. And suddenly, that moment didn't belong to fear anymore. It belonged to kindness shared between two brave hearts. Moo realized his biggest win wasn't applause or perfection. It was showing up, trying, even when doubt whispered, speaking up, even when it was hard. That was bravery, not in being flawless, but in being real. And now, when Moo looks in the mirror, he still sees doubt sometimes, but he also sees someone trying. Some days, Moo still felt unsure. He'd start a new project, then pause. What if I can't do this? But instead of quitting, he whispered, let's just try. And trying became enough. Moo didn't wait to feel confident anymore. He just chose to move, even when his hooves trembled. Moo put sticky notes on his mirror. You are learning. Brave is better than perfect. He didn't always believe them, but they helped him pause. They helped him breathe. And sometimes a small reminder can quiet a very loud fear. So Moo kept them there, tiny truths guarding the glass. Sometimes Moo still saw others doing better, faster, louder, brighter, and the ache would creep back in. But he'd gently remind himself, this is not a race. This is my path. He learned to cheer for others, without dimming his own light. Because someone else shining doesn't mean you're in the dark. When Moo noticed someone struggling, he didn't offer advice. He just sat beside them and said, me too. No big speeches, no magic fix, just presence. And sometimes that's all it takes to make someone feel seen, to remind them they're not the only one feeling like a fraud. Success looked different for Moo now, not trophies or top marks, but waking up and showing up honestly, letting others see the real him, telling his story, and reminding himself, I'm not perfect, but I'm growing. That, to Moo, was a kind of success worth holding on to. Moo was invited to sing at a small school event. He hesitated, thinking, what if I mess up? But this time, he whispered back, what if I don't? So Moo stepped onto the stage, heart pounding, hooves shaking, and sang anyway. Not perfectly, not flawlessly, but honestly. After the performance, a quiet student came up to Moo and said, your song made me feel not alone. Moo didn't know what to say, so he smiled and whispered, me too. In that soft moment, he saw how even small courage could echo into someone else's heart. Moo still had days when the voice returned. You're not enough, it would say. And sometimes it still got to him. But now, Moo knew it wasn't the truth, just a fear dressed in confidence's clothes. He didn't try to fight it anymore. He just nodded and kept going anyway. As time passed, Moo met more who felt like he once did. He listened. He shared. He reminded them, you are not alone. What once felt like shame now became connection. What once made him quiet now helped others speak. Moo's hurt wasn't about being strong all the time. It was about being real together. Moo stood before the mirror again. Same horns, same blush, but something was different. He didn't search for the real Moo anymore. He just looked and smiled, because now he knew the reflection wasn't fake. It was a little scared, a little brave, a little lost, a little found. It was him, all of him. Some mornings still felt heavy. The voice would whisper, "You're not special." But Moo had tools now. A song, a journal, a friend. He didn't need to be fearless, just honest. He let the feeling pass through like a cloud, and on the other side of it, there was still light. He played the old melody again, the one made of doubt and hope. This time, it sounded different, wiser, softer. It didn't need to impress. It just needed to exist. Moo closed his eyes and let it play, not for anyone else, just for him. Moo created a collage on his wall. Sticky notes, doodles, kind messages from friends. On hard days, he looked at them one by one. You helped me. Your song made me cry. You reminded me I'm not alone. Each word, a thread tying him to the world, proved that showing up could create quiet miracles. Moo decided to share his story online, in music, in small notes. He never said, "I have it all figured out." He just said, "This is how I feel sometimes." And people responded, not with judgment, but with love. Because when one heart opens, others feel safe to open too. Moo didn't become someone new. He still had doubts, still stumbled, but he learned to stay, to listen, to soften when it was easier to shrink. He wasn't fixed, he was growing. And maybe that's the point. We don't need to prove we're enough. We just need to remember, we already are. Moo started helping others tell their stories. He listened without rushing. He nodded instead of fixing. He reminded them, you don't have to feel ready to begin. Each moment of connection felt like building a little bridge. And Moo realized, helping others see their worth helped him remember his own. Moo once thought being enough meant always getting it right. Now, he knew better. It meant being real, being open, showing up even when it's messy. Being enough didn't mean no fear. It meant moving anyway. And on the hardest days, he'd look in the mirror and whisper, "You're doing better than you think." If you've ever felt like Moo, like you're faking it, like you don't belong, know this, you are not alone. Moo's story isn't about perfection. It's about showing up with all your feelings. It's about being soft in a loud world. And maybe, just maybe, you're doing better than you think. Like, subscribe, and Moo with me next time.